Is this thing on? Hello and welcome to the Janae Smith Fitness, aka Nebe Trains vlog. This is a place where I'm going to be sharing a little bit more behind the scenes into my life as a bikini competitor, mom, and business owner. So follow along as I share a little bit more about my own fitness journey from prep to training to life at home. And hopefully you learn and laugh with me along the way. Be sure to like and subscribe and scroll all the way down for more information about how you can work with me through one-on-one coaching, as well as some helpful resources and links to products that I use personally. Now let's jump in. Checking in for the vlog. It is Monday, November 18th. Today we trained legs this morning at Texas Iron, trained with that Evan, and we are just a little bit under 4 weeks out from Nationals. So I'm feeling good. This camera angle is gonna bug me. Feeling good. Trying to keep intensity as high as we can while training, but still being really mindful of not wanting to cause too much inflammation. For me, I'm noticing that as I get closer to this show, because I've been in prep for so long, obviously this has been a lot of stress on my body. We've done 2 shows back to back and now rolling into the 3rd with not much recovery time in between. So that being said, just trying to keep stress low, trying to keep cortisol levels under control as much as we can. Still keeping intensity high, especially on my leg days and glute days, because we really want to keep my glutes as full as possible. That's probably, for me anyways, my biggest weakness is achieving a full conditioned look with tie-ins without the rest of my body getting too lean or too shredded. So I know, bodybuilder props. But that being said, we had a great workout. Today is going to be a higher carb day for me, which is exciting because I am coming off of several very low carb days. I took a few recovery days, a few rest days, and a couple of upper body training days. And so I generally keep my carbs lower on those days. So I'm really feeling like I need the carbs. I just had a nice meal 3 with 175 grams of rice and feeling so much more energy and just alive. It's amazing what food will do for you. So a little bit about the rest of my day. So we trained this morning, came home, got a little bit of work done. Both kids are at school today, so Mondays are generally pretty productive for me. I decided that I was going to also incorporate a little bit of my own recovery today, so I headed over to Leader Fitness, which is a newer gym we just kind of found not too long ago, but it's only 10 minutes from our house. And it's just a phenomenal gym with just every bodybuilder's dreams in terms of like posing room, sauna, cold plunge, everything you need to really maximize your training and recovery. So went over there, did a little bit of contrast therapy again, just to make sure that I'm approaching as I approach nationals, I really am prioritizing not just my training but also my recovery. So for me, what I did today was I hopped in the sauna for 10 minutes, got a decent sweat. It takes a lot for me to sweat, but got a decent sweat, hopped out, jumped into the cold plunge for about 3 minutes. Shout out to Kate at Leader Fitness, because she actually stood there and talked to me, and that made the time pass so much faster. That first minute was very hard, but having someone to talk to actually kind of like takes your mind off of things, and before I knew it, 3 minutes had gone by. So thank you, Kate, for making my first plunge a little more bearable. I hopped back in the sauna for 10 minutes. Didn't really sweat as much, probably because I was freezing from the cold plunge, but felt like, just relaxed, focused on my breathing, did some meditating, and then I did a second round of the cold plunge for 3 more minutes. That second time was honestly harder because I didn't have anyone to talk to, and it was a little harder for me to get out of my head not having that, just having to sit there and suck it up. So so I'm hopeful that combo, that contrast therapy, will kind of reduce some of the inflammation I'm dealing with in my right glute. For those who have been following on Instagram, I'm dealing with some imbalances in my glutes, especially in my back pose, and I think a lot of it has to do just with my posing on my right side a lot. My mobility on my right side is a lot different from my left, and so that's kind of showing in the movement of my hips. So I'm having to tweak my posing a little bit, but I'm also having to really focus on the mind-muscle connection to my right glute, because we're noticing it's harder for me to activate. Even when I'm training, it's a lot harder for me to activate, and I'm not really sure why. Though we think there's a combination of things going on, including some scar tissue. But that being said, I'm trying to approach it from all angles, getting body work done regularly. We've been doing some cupping on my right glute. Today, I really just wanted to go in there and get some circulation and some kind of free up any of the tightness in that side if I can. And sure enough, as soon as I got in the cold plunge, I just felt my hips, literally both hips, kind of release tension, which you would think it'd be the opposite when you're cold, but I do believe that it's going to help kind of reduce that inflammation in my hips and joints and ligaments. So that's kind of my side rant about contrast therapy today. I'm excited to see if I notice a difference just in the coming week. I'm headed to get the kids from school, and then we're going to grab a couple things I need at the grocery store. You would not believe the amount of spinach and lettuce, cucumbers, pickles that I go through. Simply because so much of my, calories are not very high right now. So I am having to do a lot of veggies, just to satiate any hunger, as I get closer to the show. So keeping veggies stocked up to make sure that I stay nice and full, on my lower carb days is essential. And then, this evening I'm going to enjoy a couple more meals with carbs, another 175 grams of rice at dinner, and then I get some rice cakes tonight along with my yogurt and protein, which tastes like cheesecake. So I will link some of those things down below because they're my go-tos during prep. And I gotta run because it's carpool time. Day 2, attempting to vlog my prep. Here we are about 3.5 weeks out from Nationals, road to pro, and feeling nice and lean, a little bit juicy today. Yesterday was a high carb day for me after several low carb days, so it was a much needed refeed. I really felt like my body needed the carbs for recovery and just a mental break. I did, however, wake up feeling a little bit, quick adjustment. Woke up feeling a little bit watery, which sometimes happens for me after having carbs so low and then refeeding. I do notice that my body really soaks those up and holds a little bit of extra water sometimes. So today I've just been focusing on drinking a ton of water to hopefully help flush out some of that bloat. I've also tried to be a little bit more mindful of my salt intake, just doing what I can to kind of help my body balance out whatever inflammation I'm dealing with or whatever water imbalance there is. Obviously, as we get closer to the show, that's a little more important, something for us to pay attention to. But right now, I'm not too worried about it just because we are still several weeks out and still training hard, still feeding me plenty of carbs, which is what I need to stay really full. We're just trying to kind of maintain at this point and coast into the show. Normally on Tuesdays, I just have Dash home. He's the 2-year-old. But we woke up in the middle of the night last night and Tessa, our 5-year-old, came down with some type of stomach bug. So she was home from kindergarten today. So we had both kiddos home. Daddy was at work and just me. So we pushed through kind of a long day, long night, long day. Both kids home. Wasn't as productive as I wanted to be, but I'm going to go ahead, head to the gym. I did train this morning, but I'm going to go ahead and go back and finish my day with some posing and some contrast therapy. Just taking time for myself after a long day to kind of clear my mind, make sure I'm prioritizing recovery again with sauna and cold plunge. I feel like yesterday my body needed that. So, yeah, just going to take a little me time, and Daddy's going to handle bath time and dinner. So sorry, my camera doesn't want to stay up. I think it's just the angle of the phone, but this is Tuesday, November 19th, and we are trucking along. I'm checking in with another car vlog update because I'm always on the go and I never have a chance to film normal life. Just got my nitro cold brew from Starbucks for those asking. This is one of my go-tos, especially during prep. 5 calories, essentially 0 calories because it's like black coffee. But honestly, I drink these even when I'm not on prep. Caffeine addict. So, just gonna touch base real quick because today is gonna be a busy day. So I'm gonna try my best to vlog as I go and take you along with me. But this will be like my final day of filming before I kind of put this video together and hopefully release it on Friday, which will be officially 3 weeks out from Nationals. So today I'm headed to Texas Iron, my favorite gym, to train with Evan, who is my coach, and typically train legs with him twice a week just for that extra push. For those who don't know, glutes are my weakness, obviously. I have your typical white girl booty, so he does a great job of really pushing me and keeping the intensity of my workouts high. So we're trying really hard to maximize glute growth and keep my glutes as full as I can, even though I'm clearly in a deficit. I've been on prep for 20 something weeks. So at this point, we're trying really hard just to preserve lean muscle and keep me as full as possible without losing any muscle. And and of course trying to build a little bit of glutes before nationals. So headed to train with him. Because it's a leg day, that does mean I get more carbs today, which is exciting. I love my higher carb days. We are kind of slowly tapering down on my carb days just as we get closer to show. Again, not trying to lean out any more than I already am. I'm already pretty lean, and I have some striations in my shoulders and my glutes, and definitely don't need to get any leaner. So really these refeed days are essential for me just to kind of keep that muscle fullness. And then we'll kind of gauge it during peak week, how to adjust. Typically we do refeed going into that week. I get a ton of food, and then we kind of taper down towards show day, and adjust water as needed. So headed to do that this morning. Then I'm gonna head to Northside Gym in Creekside and get a sports massage with Brandon, who's also an awesome support during prep. He has kind of helped me work through some imbalances, especially with my glutes. We've noticed that because I pose on my right side, my right tie-in tends to kind of disappear in my back pose, and we think it has a lot to do with just mobility on my right side and also some inflammation and scar tissue. So he's kind of helped me diagnose and rule out some different things that it could be. But he's done a great job of helping me with recovery and just keeping inflammation down. I've also done some lymphatic drainage with him, because I do notice that when I'm training this intensely and cardio is high, just in general, my body gets inflamed. So really good to be mindful of that, and he's super knowledgeable. So I'm gonna get a quick sports massage, then I'm gonna run to pick up my husband's birthday cake. Today is his birthday, so I'm not gonna tell you what birthday. He's older than me, that's all that matters. And we're gonna celebrate with his favorite cake tonight. We do still have a sick baby at home, and he's sticking around to watch her, which is awesome. Super grateful for his support. But we're gonna attempt to get her into the doctor today to hopefully get a doctor's note so she can be excused. But nobody likes having the runs, so I do feel for her during this little stomach bug that she has. So today's gonna be busy. I am gonna squeeze in some client check-ins as well as a couple discovery calls for new clients that will be onboarding. So I'll share a little bit more about that later. And I'm gonna do my best to also include what some of my higher carb meals look like, just because I do get a lot of questions about that. For me, it's exciting. I think for the average person, a cup of rice is not that exciting. But for me, having several meals with higher carbs in them really is a game changer in terms of just energy levels. I'm going to feel fuller. I'm going to feel stronger in the gym. And it kind of holds me over for the next few days of lower carbs when we do kind of cycle through that. So I am carb cycling. And if you have questions about that, you can comment below, but just tends to be what works best for my body. So we are gearing up, almost 3 weeks out. And if you're not already, be sure to follow along on Instagram at Neve Trains, because that is where I post more regularly and also kind of share daily updates in terms of like check-ins and physiques. That's what I was going to say. Prep brain. So I did do a check-in this morning, and we are looking very lean, very tight. Just woke up super crispy. So that's always a good thing, because that actually means that I do get to continue these refeed days. And weight is pretty steady. I typically step on stage somewhere between 124 to 126, and I'm holding right around 128. So I don't have to do much. I'm not even trying to lose weight at this point, because a lot of the water manipulation towards peak week, those 2 pounds will come off overnight. So so just trying to maintain and kind of coast into nationals. with the current physique that we have without losing any fullness. So I've got to run, but cheers. And next time you order a nitro cold brew, go ahead and think of me. You're welcome. Tessa's got a tummy bug. Dash is scared of the cake because it's red and he's sad that it's not his birthday. And Trevor has to eat a 10-inch cream cheese frosting red velvet bundt cake. Poor thing. This is 34. How does it feel? Dash?
It feels electric.